Hey everyone, how you doing today? See if I can get my camera sitting the way I want it. Anyway, hey, I made it, which is good. I had the dentist this morning and I was not in a happy mood, but I am in a happy mood now because my teeth are clean and I'm doing well. Anyway, how are you doing today? It is a beautiful sunny day out there, a little bit on the blowy side, but otherwise it's looking pretty nice. I'm going out for a walk in a bit. I am planning for my upcoming appearance at the New Hampshire Renaissance Fair. I have been working on my van life cookbook. The editing on that has been going along beautifully. The test cooking is coming back in at a very wonderful pace. And in general, that's all looking pretty good. I have the clay cooking cookbook, tentatively titled The Clay Table, and it is currently about half done, and I'll be editing that as soon as I am finished with the van life cookbook. And then after that, I will be working on editing and rewriting and whatnot of my vampire novel, which is called Blood Moon. And that will be, I'll be working on that alongside a set of new cookbooks that are short, little cookbooks instead of big ones. So think 30 recipes. They'll be priced accordingly. And I will be doing a series of spice cookbooks based around a particular spice flavor profile, if you like. So the first one's going to be Indian spicing. I just picked up some brand new Indian spice, new to me as well, by the way, which I'll be trying out, and then we'll be working on that. I'll probably do Indian, Mediterranean, Standard American. I'll do Hungarian because I know that. I might do some French cooking. I can play around with different types of flavor profiles, and I'll be working on that. And each one will be a little cookbook. And at the end, when I've got, like dozens and dozens of these little cookbooks, I'll fix them all up into one big one so people who want to buy a hardback copy can buy the whole thing in one go. But the little ones will be fun and they'll be cheap. So I'm kind of thinking about the kind of cookbooks and stuff that you used to get at the grocery store when you bought enough groceries back in the 70s and 80s. I thought that would be kind of fun and interesting. And I definitely have interest from places that carry my books and stuff. So I think that's really a wonderful way to deal with things. So I am going forward with it. Today, we're going to be talking about developmental editing. And this is the last type of editing that I'm going to be talking about. And that's not to say that this has been an exhaustive list. It hasn't. There's as many different kinds of editing as there are editors. The thing is that the 5 types that I have talked about, or 6, whatever, I think it was 5, have all covered kind of the basics of the things that you're looking for. And you could kind of see the similarities. You're always looking at spelling and grammar. You're always looking at punctuation and such. But this week will be the last one. We're talking about developmental editing. And next week, we will be talking about why you should pay money to get an editor in. Which I know I certainly questioned the first couple of times I did this. And then after I had done some stuff, I realized why it was I do that. Yeah, now I could tell you why. But, sorry, I went to bed late and I've been up early. I actually have a reason for yawning today. So developmental editing is kind of the last type of editing that we're going to talk about. And usually it's in long form book projects, but usually fiction. Not always, but usually. And the basic idea is that you are going over some of the same things that we did when we did substantive editing or content editing in the beginning. It's the bigger picture issues. So you're going to be looking at plot. You're going to be looking at character development, your settings, your themes. A developmental editor kind of touches on everything and helps you flesh out your ideas and create a strong foundation for the stories. It's basically the structure and organization of your writing. And some people will not have any other type. They'll do all the rest of the editing by themselves and then have the developmental editor come in close to the end of the process and work with you to go through and fix any glaring errors that you may have missed and sort of help work your way through any issues that you've been having, or if there are rough areas in your writing. And so basically what a developmental editor do is they help you overcome any issues that you have. Their job is to help you do your job better. Their job is not necessarily to fix your grammar and punctuation, although they can catch that kind of stuff. But the assumption really is that you've already looked for those things. And if you've missed anything, it's just because you've looked at your own work a zillion times. They're there more to help with, your world building, and, this character's a little underdeveloped. You should give them more to do in the book. You might want to expand on this scene because it doesn't sync well into the next one. That's the kind of thing a developmental editor does. And honestly, it's really important. I can also give you some ideas. I do developmental editing for people who do blogs. So they will write their blog entry, and then I go through it and I'm checking not just their grammar and their spelling, which I also do, but I'm looking for, did they use the right turn of phrase? Did they explain their topic well enough? These are techies, and so sometimes their ability to explain things to people who are not techies is lacking. And so I can talk to them and get a better idea of what it is they're trying to express, and then guide them in doing a better job of writing the material so that people like me can actually read it. And so that's the process that happens. It's very much a back and forth. Other types of editors will take your work. You may never meet, you may never talk. It's all through email, or, you hand it off and that's the last you see, other than a piece of mail or email that comes back to you with your corrections. A developmental editor spends the time to go over your work with you and really get into in-depth stuff. And so proofreading is usually seen as kind of the last form of doing editing, but I think developmental editing, in fact, is the correct way, because developmental editing is what happens right before you send it out to be published. The idea is that a developmental editor will help you get your work to the point where it really is it's ready to go to anybody. Apparently, I'm not ready for anything, but that's okay. So if you've picked up my cookbook or my other books, you'll know that I did not use a developmental editor because I couldn't afford one at the time. Not that I really can now either, but I'm more inclined to do so as I become more professional in my writing. My writing becomes more professional. It's just kind of a progression as you go along. And so I want my work to be of a much higher quality now. I have become a better writer, and so I need to have better editing done on my work. And I really can't do it myself. I can do editing for you. You can do editing for me, but we can't do editing for ourselves. It's a bad idea. I'm breaking my own rules. I mean, I do my own editing. But if you're going to pay, well, we'll get into that next week. If you're going to pay for anybody, developmental editor is kind of the one that you can go with. So that's the end of that particular series. You can find editors in a lot of cool places. And again, I'll talk about that next week. But I highly recommend Readsy. There's a lot of people on there. They're vetted, so it's not like you're just getting random people. I've had some bad I've heard some not as good things about people from Fiverr when it comes to editing. For graphics, for covers and stuff, all I hear are good reviews. Everybody's happy. I've heard almost nothing negative. But when it comes to editing, I have seen a lot of negative reviews intermixed with the good ones. So, your mileage may vary. All right. Apparently, I am tired enough that I need to go take a nap. But at least my teeth are clean and I have no cavities. Yay. Yeah. I don't know if any of you know, I've been doing a semi-regular video thing on TikTok where I do little 3-minute videos describing a day in the life of an author. And I just talk about what I've done in a day. Sometimes it's writing, sometimes it's editing, sometimes it's other things entirely, but it's all things to do with writing and reenacting as well. So, yeah. All right. I think that's it. Yeah, except I want to do a little call out. So, right by my dentist, there's this place called the Sunshine Cook Shop, and I'm going to put their thing up on the screen here for you to see. The Sunshine Cook Shop is Jamaican restaurant. It's kind of this little tiny little place, and it has like, I don't know, 6 tables, 5 tables, something like that. We went in last week when I went in to have other stuff looked at, and the food, when you walk in, the smell is incredible. He's got goat, he's got oxtail. I had the oxtail. Oh my goodness, it was so good. If you live anywhere near Claremont, New Hampshire, you have to go to this place. It is so delicious. It's small, it's a little hole in the wall, and it's completely worth it. The prices are not bad, and the food is superb. So there you go. All right. I will see you guys next week, and we're going to be talking about, like I said, why you should pay an editor to do your stuff and where to go to find one. All right. You guys have a great week, and I will see you next week.